Okay, quiet.
Take stuff.
Okay, quiet now. I'm the owner and winemaker at K Vintners and Magnificent Wine Company. I'm a sole proprietor in Walla Walla. I mean, that's it. I live in the house next to my winery. It's not, you know, big, huge, fancy place. But actually, the house is bigger than the winery. The winery is 2,400 square feet. It's like a Rubik's Cube. My father's French, and my mom's Welsh, and we grew up east of Sacramento in the Sierra foothills, and we made a couple of barrels of wine every year for the family to drink. It was cheaper that way, and you also got pure, real wine. You know, my dad, every night when we had dinner, he'd have a big stack of bread next to him, and goes, "Okay, he called me Charlie. He goes, Charlie, you want some bread? Sure." And my dad would sit there, and he'd butter the bread for all the kids sitting around the table. That was his thing, and the wine sat in the middle of the table. The Magnificent Wine Company has really been the thing that really kind of encompassed my whole ideas of what I think wine should be, which is we make wine for people to drink. We don't make wine in our image, we make wine in their image. The idea is that we can do all the work that we want, but if you don't consider who you're doing the work for, there's no communication. The Magnificent Wine Company is all about communication. Everything that I do from one wine project to the other is about communication. It's about finding what the people want and then giving it to them. I had this idea in my mind about, you know, when I came back to the United States, you know, I would see wines that were all about packaging and nothing about wine. And I said, instead of about putting, $20 worth of packaging and 50 cents worth of wine in a bottle and charging $10, I figured, why don't you put $20 worth of wine in a bottle, put 50 cents worth of packaging on it, and charge $10? That seems to make better sense. It makes better sense for the consumer. Magnificent Wine, the wine for the people, about the people and their language. House wine is the wine that people have drank all through time and will continue to drink into the future. So no matter what trends go, you know, Pinot's hot, you know, Merlot is hot, and then Merlot's out. Pinot's hot, Pinot's out. Riesling is hot, Riesling is out. House wine isn't the trend. House wine is always here. So that's what I have to say about that. I guess that's what Forrest kind of said, right? That's all I have to say about that. So, there's you know, it's always Cabernet Sauvignon base because it has that footprint. And the thing is, you know, people say, is a wine the same every year? No, it reflects the vintage. We try to put the best things of the vintage in, always based on Cabernet Sauvignon. But if Merlot is better in that vintage, there'll be more Merlot than Syrah. If Syrah is better in that vintage, there'll be more Syrah than Merlot. The idea is what is going to build a better wine in that year. House wine is reflective of the vintage, not trying to build the same wine year after year. You know, some people will think, well, consistency is really good. I think consistency of quality is more important. It has grip, it has structure, it has freshness. It's, you know, if you want to use a word, it's zippy, you know? It's vibrant. And it's not just this oaky, sweet, round thing that's simple. House wine always is, white is always predominantly Chardonnay for the body and for the familiarity and palate. And then the other varietals, we add Alsatian varietals, a little Gewürztraminer, maybe a little Muscat, maybe a Riesling. And the idea for that is not for sugar, because the wine's dry, but to lift the aromatics and give the wine a unique footprint, which is unique to house wine white. And you know, a lot of times people will add varietals like that and do a little residual sugar to add body to the wine. That's not what we did. We did it to add complexity, which I talked about before. You know, $10 wine with complexity. That's a unique, you know, idea. Give people something worth their patronage. That's a unique idea. You know, respect your clients. Give them something that they don't expect. And I hope that when people drink house wine white, that they feel like, wow, that's not what I expected. That's really good. House wine white. So. And you can smell it. I mean, it doesn't smell like just Chardonnay. I mean, you get this beautiful floral notes, and you get spice, and you get a real mineral content to it, which kind of gives it a footprint of a lot of things that are in Washington State. We have a lot of sand and gravel soils. Originals, which are the Pinot Noir, the Cab, the Syrah, the Riesling, they actually were born out of the first wines that I originally did. The first one I originally did for the Magnificent Wine Company before house wine. Hence, that's the history, that's the truth, that's the transparency, that's the communication. That's why they're called the originals. So, like, wow, it smells really kind of heady and rich. Not rich in a fruit way, but rich like, that je ne sais quoi, like, what is that? I can't put my finger on that smell. This Pinot Noir is not 15% and done with 100% new oak. And super extracted, and it's in a barrel, 100% new oak for 1 year, and bottled, and says, here it goes. Taste this raw, viscous wine. This wine smells sexy, and this wine smells complex. It smells like, wow, this came from Washington? Well, Syrah, like from where this comes from, I'm looking for a really beautiful floral notes. Violets, lavender, herbs from, like you get in southern France. And it's just a whisper. It's just right there. It's just floating on top. It smells like Syrah. It's spice. The wine smells like it's laying in the glass. It's not screaming out with big alcohol and huge fruit. It's laying there, deep, rich, and smooth. Spice, the meaty gaminess, little earthiness. Think about the round fruit, and you think about the kind of raspberry kind of thing going on there. Those are things that sound pretty nice together. Well, because they are nice together in the wine. You don't smell this wine to smell oak. It doesn't need it. Oak is folded in. Oak is not the wine. The fruit is the wine. The stems are the wine. We use stems in the fermentation to connect it more to the earth. That's the skeletal part of the plant. Once again, I mean, it smells like it's down in the glass. It's not screaming out with, volatile acidity, VA or anything else like that. It smells like really well-made wine. It sits in the glass. It smells like Cabernet Sauvignon. It smells tight, and I mean, not tight, but it smells taunt, kind of firm. It smells of structure. It doesn't smell like we're just trying to please you. We're saying we're trying to give you something that actually has some complexity and has some, has some structure.